The Quokka was first sighted by our Dutch sailors in the late 1600s, and the Quokka actually gave the island its name. The Dutch sailors, William Vlaming, saw these weird little creatures about so high that looked a bit like a rat. They had fur, but they had a hairless tail and they looked a bit like a rat. And of course, being Europeans, they'd never seen a marsupial before under any circumstances. And that, coupled with the nests of the what eastern states would call the mutton bird or the shearwater over on the west end of the island, and then they nested by digging a tunnel in the sandhills. So we put the two together and called it Rottnest, R-O-T-T-E-N-E-S-T. Now somewhere along the line, an English cartographer has decided that's the wrong spelling and dropped an E, and it's now known as Rottnest. So that's how the island got its name from the Quokka, and even today our hotel is called the Quokka Arms. There is somewhere between 8,000 and 10,000 quokkas on the island, and this is basically the only place that they are found. And they've been here ever since the island became an island, and that was about 6,000 to 8,000 years ago when the water level rose and flooded the coastal plain, and this became an island, and they've been here all that time. So you can see that they've been here an awful long time, and they have become thoroughly acclimatised to this island. Quokkas aren't given food, they're not given water. Now, it might sound like it's a harsh way of treating one of our animals, but it helps nature keep the population in check, and also means that the strongest gene survives, and that is all to the good for the quokka. Right, we'll just walk down here, just watch your footstep a little bit with these roots of these trees. They actually love the fruit from the Moreton Bay tree. That's a part of their staple diet. As a matter of fact, when it drops to the ground and ferments, the quokka gets a little bit of a stagger on from time to time. They get most of the water they need from the dew on the grass and on the low-lying plant and shrubs. Over on the west end, there's more quokkas, and that's about 11 kilometres to the west of me at the moment. The quokkas there have learnt to survive without water. There's no salt lakes over there at all. And they get the majority of their water from the succulents like the pig face that you see, because they take salty water or rain and convert it basically. So, you know, they've learnt to survive in this sort of fairly harsh environment. You'll see they live in groups. The reproductive system, the gestation period is only 27 days. And once the embryo is born into the pouch, the female usually mates again 1 to 3 days afterwards. So she always carries a fertilised egg with her. Now, if for some reason the embryo dies, she gives birth to another one. But if the embryo doesn't die and goes through to full growth, well then that egg dies. It's nature's way of ensuring that the species continue. And it also means that because they breed in late January, February and give birth in March, if it's been a drought and there is no food and no water, there's a backup so that the race will never die out completely. They are basically nocturnal. So we see them early morning and late afternoon, but where we're going now is a big stand of melaleucas, and it's nice and cool and shady underneath, and that's where you'll see them.